All right, what's going on, party people? Let's get this a little bit closer here. Hopefully, you guys should be able to hear me. What's going on, everybody? It's definitely a great pleasure to have you guys here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, what I do as a spiritual healer, I technically help people to attain their highest level of consciousness. Now, what we do in this channel, to give is to receive, I use the power of words to help you to actually attain your highest level of consciousness. Now, when I'm talking about the power of words, what are we talking about here, right? So, for most people, when they say words are powerful, what they mean to say is, like down the line, careful what you say. It's almost like the word in itself has some sort of a power that will somehow manifest the kind of stuff that niggas are saying now for like Diddy and shit. Bad boy, and then he was a bad boy. Does that make sense? you know what I'm saying? But hey, man, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But Michael Jackson being bad to me, I mean, minus the sleeping in the bed with motherfuckers, but in terms of, him feeling himself and being the meanest, the baddest guy in terms of his skill, his music, and his passion, I mean, we can argue. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, for most people, when they're saying the power of words, they're referring to somehow, down the line, if that's what you say, and then what you say will somehow manifest, which I'm not disagreeing with. I mean, there's some truth to it. I don't necessarily. Anyway, but that's not what I'm referring to. so we, I mean, we're just gonna make it that, right? So, what I'm referring to is, let's just say, have you ever seen a quote or some sort of a proverb, or when you're scrolling down, as you're scrolling down in Instagram, and people like to post those wisdom quotes, whatever the fuck, and then once you read it, you see how beautiful the shit is. Or it's almost like you have an aha moment just by seeing it. To me, that's what I call the power of words. Because what's taking place in this particular instance is that you get to witness the word acting out on you. And the very first thing that normally happens is that it captivates you. It demands your fucking attention. So you don't even know it bypass your conscious mind. And you're not even knowing at this point, and here you're like, ooh. And somehow you become a little more receptive, and then now you're able to to delve into whatever the wisdom is in it. And we all have listened to a certain level, either some sort of inspirational or motivational shit. When you hear it, how you feel, that's the word acting out on you. And a lot of and what you will notice in a lot of those people, it's not necessarily what they're saying that makes it powerful, but it's how they're saying it. It's nothing that you didn't hear before, but how they're saying it, that's what, like, it gives you, it pretty much gets you in that state where, I mean, it demands your fucking attention. So when I'm talking about the power of words, that's what I'm referring to. And those are pretty much what you may call quotes, proverbs, and that's what you also see in poetry, or let's just say in lyrics or rap lyrics, right? These are all different respectively, but they'll pretty much have one similar thing, and that is how things are being said. Us, let's just say, as for me, as being a spiritual healer, I understand my speech. There's a certain way that I say things it would make a, what makes a difference. I'm sorry. It's how I say certain things. it's not necessarily what I'm saying. And every great speaker, as far as I can see, I mean, I kind of noticed that. That's why they know how to talk to you. When they telling you to know your crowd, technically what you're truly saying is, or to know your audience. What that is saying is, you got to give them what they asking for that they don't even know what that they're asking for. So, in so many words, this is like you just got to know your shit. But most importantly, you know, it's when we're talking about the power of words, so you know how to say it, you know how to address it to your audience, so you know how to talk to them. So, and that's what you see in poetry, right? It's once you get to break it down, the way it's being said, and then there's the fucking noon. I mean, there's the heavens, the you're moving like you're dancing, whatever the fuck expression that they choose to use, right? When you get to break it down, it's regular shit that they're fucking using. But what makes a difference though is how these things are being put together and being presented to you. So to me, that's what I call the power of words. It's those proverbs, those statements. Once I read them, right, and the amount of wisdom and how captivated they are in terms of how they bypass my conscious mind, and they give me that feeling. I know for me, and I fucking love that shit too, because it's fulfilling. It's nourishing my inner like vision or my essence. So, but anyway, that's what I call like the power word. So, in this channel here, to give is to receive, what I do pretty much in this channel, I use those quotes, to help you to attain a highest level of consciousness. So, already, just by me talking about the power of words already, you could see how powerful those statements are, right? So what we're doing here is that we're gonna expand a lot more, on the some of the things that are not being said but that are fully being said, because that's what you get in those statements. When we talk about certain proverbs or certain quotes, old saying, it's just the wealth of wisdom that is fucking being hidden in those statements, and never to, and somehow that kept your attention, but now you just got to be receptive and delve more into that type of consciousness. So it's just fucking amazing. And another benefit of those quotes is that you don't necessarily, how for most of us, something as you experience it. With that, you don't really have to go through the experience, but it will give you the knowledge. So therefore, that's truly empowering you, because it's giving you the knowledge, so that way, if you were to face or come to anything close, you know how to handle it. So that's empowerment. And just like I always tell people too, man, if there's any shortcut in life, that's probably the only thing. Other than that, I mean, there's no shortcut. And even that in itself, you're going to have to put the pain in, which is the time, the meditation, because at first, I know for me, when I started delving into those quotes, right, it's like you would get some of them and others you wouldn't really get, and some of them I would just go blank. But over time, it's almost like, I started to open up my inner vision. So now when I mean, it makes me a lot more receptive, and I'm able to, pretty much unpack. But nevertheless, I'm saying this to say, even that as, what I would call a shortcut, it's not even a shortcut in itself. So there's truly no shortcut, but I guess if there's, such a thing in life, those quotes would probably be the best in terms of, especially when you don't necessarily have to experience certain things, but yet you have the understanding that gives you that empowering you not just for that situation, but now for other situation as well. Because ultimately, what you're also doing by unpacking those knowledge, man, you sharpen up your tools because you are the knowledge. So as you and you're processing that type of knowledge, the beholder, that middle person that you are, and we're gonna be talking about that too tonight. It's also getting sharper. So your vision, because ultimately what you need, is develop your inner vision. Because when it comes to wisdom, truly, it isn't necessarily how you see shit. I mean, it isn't necessarily what you see, but it's how you're looking at it, right? Because we both could be looking at the same thing, but seeing it in different angles, and ultimately that's what it is. That's what's gonna separate, like us, pretty much. Do you see what I'm saying? But also, too, man. Anyway, there's a lot more to talk about. But anyway, with all of that being said, that's what we do here. Now, also as a disclaimer, like I always let you guys know, when it comes for me, when it comes to wisdom, wisdom is wisdom. I mean, I'm sorry, it's wisdom regardless of where it comes from. What this is saying is, like, it wisdom is not gonna be any lesser. I mean, I mean, if my son, let's just say, who's 5 years old, is saying some true shit, I mean, it's not because it's coming out of his mouth. It's gonna make it less true. Does that make any sense? It's like the truth is just the truth, man, regardless of where it comes from. So that's why you'll see a lot of the quotes that I talk about. It's not limited to one source. Like I use quotes from Christianity, Buddhism, the Bhagavad Gita, Hinduism, Voodoo, the Sufis, Gnostics, you name it, motherfucker. If I hear it and it speaks to me, to a point where I feel like I need to share it with you. That's what you're gonna get. In fact, that's what you're getting. That's all day, every day. So I guess I figured as a disclaimer, I'll let you guys know about this. So with no further ado, let's get into our quote for tonight. I mean, it's not a long one, but somehow, we've been talking a whole lot here just before we get into it. But anyway, um, all that we are is a result of what we have thought. We are made of our thoughts. We are molded by our thoughts. All right, let's shut this shit down. Now, to me, to be honest, this statement is totally underrated because I feel like even when before I was like, okay, do I even need to talk about this? Because I felt like it's been said so many I mean, so many times. We hear it all the time. You want to change your life, change your thoughts. It's like, but yet I feel like it's so underrated because we have not fully grasped it. Because this is a fully loaded statement because there's a lot to unpack for you to fully grasp it. Because the very first thing that this is talking about here is that there is a direct relationship between you and thoughts and how thoughts can mold you. So I'm saying that to say, like, at this point, you got to ask yourself, what does that say about us? Who the fuck are we? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the last time I could think of anything like this in terms of having interaction with even my thoughts, it's me in my mind. So that's why the Kabbalion calls us, they call us a living mind, which, i.e., spirit. So we are, our life is, are pretty much molded by even knowledge too. So that's why truly, I mean, that's why for you to thrive, even as a human being, I mean, you can't just live a life based on fucking party and I mean, fucking eat. So the whole idea of even the Christ telling you, you know, you need man lives off of anything that came out of the mouth of God or the God wisdom, is reflecting your essence. Meaning, okay, so let's dumb it all the way the fuck down, right? Even for you to be a fully, I mean, for you to thrive as a human being, like you can't just be a stupid motherfucker, man. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, yes, you gotta fuck, you do everything that the body needs, but at the end of the day, man, like, you gotta feed your mind, right? You gotta get smarter. You gotta. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, this is this is your essence. So for you to fully thrive, and this is also pretty much the basic of my teachings when it comes to like because my whole thing is African spirituality, right? And what that is simply telling, it's my art, I should say. Well, it's the same shit. It's my art, which is justice, which is harmony, which is the yang and the yin. Whatever the fuck you want to call it, which is pretty much a holistic spirituality, which, you know, include your body and the non physical body aspect of yourself. And if you understand any of that too, this is also telling you the non physical aspect of you is ruling your physical self. That's why you are molded by your thoughts. That's why your life it goes in accordance to what you know. That's why life is what you make it. You understand what I'm trying to say to you here? So, in that statement in itself, and this is how underrated this is because we all hear it, but we don't truly hear it though. Because this is telling you a whole lot in terms of your essence and the direct relationship that you and knowledge has or your thoughts have. And just so you guys know too, this is not talking about when we're talking about thoughts here. This is not talking about an idea. But this is like your level of vibration, your level of understanding. That's what the thoughts meant. That's what it means here. When we're talking about changing your thoughts, it's to change your way of perceiving things. We're talking about a networking on how you see shit, not a single idea of a thought or try to be positive or trying to be negative. No. And even when it comes to that too, it's the level of understanding that that's what we're talking about here. And that's what, if you want to change your life, that's what you got to change. And anybody who have ever grown, that's what the fuck it is. So that's why knowledge, it's our fucking life. Like, it's our survival kit. That's why, just like I even like to tell people, just for you to be sane, your sanity is your spirituality. Because only when you embrace your physicality and your non physical self, then only then you become a fully a holistic person, a perfect person. Not flawless, but perfect in terms of you have grasped, you have successfully brought in your physical and your mental part together. Meaning this is when now you become wise. Your knowledge and your actions match. Because you don't want you want to be a guy with a lot of knowledge and making dumb fucking moves. At that point, how useful is your knowledge? Do you see what I'm saying? So, again, going back to the whole thought in terms of how you are a result of your thoughts. It's your level of understanding, your pattern of thinking, not a thought. So if you understand that, then if you even were to take that a little bit further too, so how do I implement a thought that will determine your life? And that's where mythology comes in. Because mythology now, or what you call the Bible or God, is that ultimate thought that is being planted into your mind. That's why when it comes to that shit, when it comes to truly mind control, I mean, mythology is it's guilty. And that's why even your oppressor, or depending on who's watching, if you're a nigga, or by that I mean a black person, I just don't give a fuck. But anyway, if you're a nigga, you know what I'm saying, then your colonizer, that's what they use to fucking, isn't it not? You know what I'm saying? And if you're looking at all the instructions that are being implemented or displayed by fucking Christianity, it says it all. I am your God. You say what I say. You follow this. You refer to this book. That's why every Christian, I mean, again, that's why your God creates your reality. You act like your God. And that goes to show you how important your thoughts are when it comes, and not just thoughts, like your level of understanding too, and how that reflects into your life. Like, and here's something else that I always say: if you think money's everything, meaning your level of understanding, your thoughts pattern, when you look at everything you see in life, you only see money, you don't see anything else behind that? That's what a limited perspective is. But nevertheless, if that's what you only see, well, you'll do anything for it. That's why you have people who are sucking dick for money, motherfuckers who want to make it big, whatever the fuck. I'm not judging. Well, I was going to say no Diddy, but anyway, let me stop with that. I'm not judging, I'm just saying. But now, if somehow in your little world of thinking, you see money as a medium of exchange, or better yet, you see money as energy, however the fuck you want to look at it. And then you have a good understanding of who you are, and you don't see money as everything. How the fuck are you gonna do anything for money? It doesn't work that way. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like that's why we say bitch nigga do bitch nigga shit. Does that make sense? I'm on some bullshit. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like, I mean, it's no secret, man. Like us Haitian niggas, we always say that shit. When it comes to Coca Cola, it's motherfucking sparkle water, chemistry and sugar, nigga. There's no secret to it. You could pour it in the fucking, glass of ice. You crunching your thirst and all that. Beautiful. At the end of the day, that's what in there though. You could call it exotic. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're not wrong at all. You're not on trial. At the end of the day, that's what the fuck this is. So again, going back to our essence, I mean, because if you understand your direct relationship with thoughts, then you also have to then it would make sense. Now, when Jesus said, for instance, man's got to live more than just wine and bread, you would have to live for a better understanding. I mean, for you to thrive, because the whole Christian, because, okay, let me just say this too, because I realize, and this is what the wisdom, the ancient wisdom was pretty much all about. the use of, let's just say, the supernatural shit was to evoke, to awaken that spirit in you. Because that supernatural shit is truly who you are. So that's why when we talk about Osiris and all that shit, this is to awaken a dormant side of you. Meaning, even if you want to say the Bible, okay? The Bible is there to serve you. The idea of you pursuing Jesus is for you to become like Jesus. It's not for you to keep Jesus way over there and you're way back here. If not, then Jesus doesn't make any sense. Then that's why, and that's what you see in Christianity. That's why there's no evolvement. That's why people aren't really transforming. It becomes just another, sociable thing to do. And that's why these niggas wear masks. They talk behind your back. They do all that kind of shit because there's no true transformation that's taking place. Because when there's true transformation, there's certain things you're not going to be involved in. That's why when the Bible tells you about the fruit of the Spirit, this is relating to as you delve into your spiritual side, that inner side of you. And that is going to be the result of what you're going to become. By you delving into your spirit, then you're going to start having peace, joy, fucking compassion. Like for me, I could truly forgive a motherfucker. Not because of what they got to say to me, but because I understand my essence. And I understand them too. I know the people are perishing due to fucking ignorance. I.e., that's what we're talking about here. Your thoughts is also molding your life. And that's why you should be careful of your God, because your God is going to mold your life. You could say all that God shit that you want at the end of the day, no matter how strong your faith is. That's why if you believe in Muhammad, guess what you do? You act the fucking way. If you believe in Hinduism, you act the fucking way. So at the end of the day, regardless of how strong, how much you want to jerk yourself off, you are a result of your fucking thoughts. So you better be in, like, if you're going to talk about some true God shit, then you got to be in charge of your thoughts. Meaning you got to choose your God. You better become him too. You better become your God too. So that's why too, like this kind of thing that I do here, this is for the great listeners. And this is out of spirituality too. It's not just a belief system. This is, there's deep intelligence in this. I mean, you have a combination of my intellect and my emotions that is highly equally involved. And that's what, in so many words, allows me to stay grounded too. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. Because I remember anyway, that's a whole different conversation. Because a lot of times when we talk about being grounded, we always refer to your physical chakra, or you could walk, let's just say bare feet and shit, just you could ground, ground yourself. It sounds good. It's one way of looking at it. But the other way to truly ground yourself is you becoming in alignment with you. Like when you know you stand for, if you stand for something, you're not going to fall for anything. Well, that's your ground too, isn't it not? That's you putting your feet down, but not necessarily in a physical way. So part of this knowledge, You have to embrace all of this. You got to see it from all of those different angles too. And that's the beauty of the wisdom of God. That's the beauty of it all. You could grasp reality from different angles. And for me, and by me having that ability, and that's what makes me cosmic, if you're asking me. Enough of me. But anyway, going back to that, oh my God, this is a fucking fully loaded statement. There's so much that's being said here, but yet that is not literally being said. Because the first thing is this is addressing a direct connection between us and our thoughts. And just to show you, you know what I'm saying, how closely related. It's almost like you kind of go hand in hand with your thoughts. If you develop yourself, then your thoughts will be more developed. So the beholder that you are, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So you are that beholder. That's why in life, it's not how much you see, man. How you looking at it, beholder? Do you have that 20/20 or your vision is all blurred? That's what it comes down to. So I could see the same shit that you're looking at, but you know what I'm saying? Some of us could go the distance. But that has to do with the beholder now, your level of consciousness. And that's what you need to enhance. That is who you are. That is the living mind. This is your spirit. That's the vibration you need to enhance for you now to attain that Christ consciousness. Understand what I'm saying to you? God damn. So, and that's why the words got to be made flesh. That's why every knowledge got to become wisdom. Because as your thoughts, it will it molds you, meaning it molds your reality. And that's why you have to be in control of your thoughts. Not in the sense of people always say, am I thinking negatively right now? Am I thinking negatively? I mean, that's more talk to me. Because at times we all think positive, we all think negative. That's not what the fuck this is about. This is about a level of fucking understanding. Like for me, when I say, that's why I don't tell people I'm a positive person. But I do have a positive outlook on shit. Because the whole idea of people saying that they're positive, it's like nothing wrong can happen. You fucking lying to yourself. Like with me, with the kind of wisdom that I have, some shit bad can happen, but I can learn from it. So I have a positive outlook on it. It was bad, but I also learned. And because I learned, it canceled out the fucking bad. Unless if you wanna, you wanna cry over spilled milk. Who does that? It's either you don't know this is spilled milk, or you can't drink it, or you crying over it for it. Do you see what I'm trying to tell you? So again, your thoughts, your life is a result of that. That's why it is our duty, man, to develop your mind, to know more, to feed your mind. Again, to understand that there's another aspect of you for you to thrive as a human being, for you to be your best version. You can't just, eat and fuck and not feeding your mind. It's not even, it's fucking reality, bro. Look at anybody who have ever made it, or this people like shit. They gotta be knowledgeable motherfuckers, man. Like, it is what the fuck it is. And again, if you truly understand that, what the fuck does that say about your essence? Who the fuck is you? And this is the you that we need to seek for, that you should be seeking for. When we say seek the kingdom of God, what that is referring to is your essence. Because everybody, pretty much, we are in our own little world, meaning we all have our kingdom. I mean, when you talk about, our emotional state, our mental state, like we're like a whole, like a handful. That's why it's always the motherfucker who's not taking care of his wisdom of his fucking kingdom that worries about other motherfuckers. The nigga that's worried about his motherfucking self. That's why we don't judge. That's why this is not to keep up with the Joneses. This is not for validation. Hello, hi, like me. I mean, when we're talking about your life situation, this is your fucking life, man. Like, how the fuck, how the fuck do you like on the life that you're living? You even give up on your own fucking life to be something else. That's why this shit is blasphemy. It's a sin even against you. Like, isn't that you living here? How the fuck do you even bypass that to worship idols? And by idols, a lot of people always think, it's when they talking about those clay shit, when you have those certain things. Like, I know for me, shit, I got a whole bunch of shit. But anyway, I got too much shit. Got a skull right there and all that shit. So stupid motherfuckers to always think, that's what, when we're talking about worshiping idol is. Because they have a limited understanding of what idol is. But they don't realize it's them stepping outside of who they are. When you have a society where people are living their lives based on who they should be and not on who they are, that that that's it right there. It says it all. That's why the world that you're living in is not a coincidence, man. It's chaotic, yes, because of the very foundation of it, man. I mean, you don't have a strong foundation, you're expecting what? And that's truly what the Matrix is. It's not nature in terms of a coconut tree and all that shit. I listen to a whole lot of bunch of motherfuckers talk all kinds of shit, right? But I'm talking about the paradigm, when you're talking about the Matrix, the world that we have created. Meaning, now you're coming into this fucking life. Your way of understanding is that you got to survive. You got to be competitive. You got to go to school. You got to do this. You got to be part of a political party. That's the paradigm. That's the fucking illusion. That's what's fucking you up. That's truly what the Matrix is. And that is what a world of ignorance is, because it's not out of who you truly are. There's no truth. The truth is you. So because there's a lack of truth in it, that's what we call it ignorance. And when you truly analyze that type of world too, then you realize it's like it's it all makes sense. Like greed, people got to like listen, man. Yo, and I know that I always talk about this, but I don't think a lot of people understand this. Dave Chappelle had a stand up where he was talking about pretty much when he was 19 and the contract that he signed. At that time, he did what anybody else would do, young and stupid, who's looking for fame, thinking his life is going to change. You sign anything. But think about it, too. why do you even have to like why? I mean, it's almost like I know for me, and I had to check myself on that too. When even when I was listening to Dave saying that shit, what I really said, like, I mean, in my heart, I'm like, nigga, you signed that shit too. But at the same time, I had to check my. That's what the fuck he's addressing. He's addressing, yo, we are normalizing greed. Just because a motherfucker signed a contract, you mean to tell me like you gotta own 90% of my life? And I'm the one singing, I'm the one dancing, I'm the one producing? Do you see what I'm trying to tell you? You know, because I know for me it wasn't even as a spiritual healer. I mean, I had to heal myself right on the spot. Because I'm like, oh shit, nigga, you signed that shit. Yes, he did, but that's what he's talking about. So we're living in a world that's like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? We all had to do what we all gotta do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta you gotta legalize when you fucking somebody up. That's pretty much what it comes down to. You wanna fuck somebody up, just legalize that shit. And that's what those businesses are. Those government shit is just taking your money, just fucking you up, man. Going to a restaurant, whatever the fuck, fucking you up. None of these motherfuckers, it's like, yeah, they're here to take your money. One way or another. We normalize that because there's truly no value with it. It's almost like, oh, well, I got you. You didn't know. Well, sorry you didn't know. I mean, I'm still saying sorry you don't know neither. I mean, too. But does it have to go that far? Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, I'm saying all of that to say, man, going back to the original statement here or quote, just to show you how deep your thoughts go, and when we're talking about your thoughts, we're talking about your level of understanding, your vibration, the beholder, the person, because we all have, let's just say, a different understanding. I mean, I could be like I always tell people, my son and myself, when he talks about Spider-Man, when I see he's Spider-Man is a dream. My spot, I mean, he's Spider-Man is I gotta buy this nigga Spider-Man shit. You know what I'm saying? So his Spider-Man and my Spider-Man is not the same. You know what I'm saying? But when I see this nigga's doing the spiting shit, alright, nigga, I'ma support your bullshit. Hey, because you know what I'm saying? Because truly, but I also understand that this is also supporting him. Because when you support your child, man, you give them support. You give them support so they could support themselves. That's how it works. A lot of us, we don't have the ability to support ourselves, or we don't have self confidence because let's face it, man, nobody ever supported you. What the fuck? I know for me, shit. Shit, my life in itself. If I were to tell you about my life, man, shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if you're living your life like you always got to get everything yourself, you can't trust other people. And for me, that was one of the things that I had to work on. But a lot of us too, you know what I'm saying? And the whole aspect of attaining your highest level of consciousness, it's you becoming your own therapist. You know what I'm saying? You having the ability to do your shadow work, meaning to understand the emotional consequences of your early emotions. Because you got to understand why you act a certain way or why you react a certain way. And this is a whole other conversation, too. But again, your thoughts, man. Because what you're doing, you are expending your thinking, your mental into, you know what I'm saying, that, like one of the basic things, like I always like to tell people, on my other channel, Lespri, I always take a minute to talk about spirituality, and I'm gonna do that now. Shit, I'm on my bullshit anyway. And I always trying to let people know that spirituality is your regular life. The shit that I'm talking about here, and this is no, what I'm saying, like the type of the type of shit that religion do. Like they trying to give you this. Religion is almost like a way to escape, and that's why a lot of these people that guess what guess what they do? They follow. They do not transform. Jesus is not in their life. They have not, they haven't had, what I'm saying, a piece of that. They haven't had their Holy Communion. They have not had their Holy Communion, which is truly to bite into the flesh of Jesus, which is the understanding, making it part of your regular thinking. And as you do so, that's how you elevate to a Godhead mentality. You see how deep your mind goes? So when we're talking about a living mind or attaining your highest level of consciousness, this is you becoming the bright one, the enlightened one, the awakened one. Can you now grasp it? This shit is your regular life. And if you think about it too, man. Even when you look at in the Bible, right? They talk about the fruit of the Spirit. When you feed that other side of you, that spirituality, you materialize that. You have more joy. You have peace. You can forgive other people. That makes you a better human being, dog. So just to be sane. So your sanity truly, like I always tell people, this is a mental fucking institution. Your sanity, meaning you having the ability to see shit clearly, you gotta be enlightened. The bright one. In other words, the true fucking Illuminati that you motherfuckers are always talking about. But referring to perverts anyway. That's what you should be worried about. Do you see what I'm saying? And now you could see what makes it such a blasphemy for you to come to live your life. And now you're living your life according to something else. It's so contradictory too. It's almost like, why did you even come to earth? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, another way of saying this, if this is too much, let's dumb it down. The reason why people say life is not about life being born, life or death, because at some point it's going to happen. But in between, though, in between you being born and before you die, what's taking place, though? Are you making it worth it? Are you making it count? Are you alive? So that's why, even for me, when I talk about even birth and death, those are exit part. One it's how you enter, the other one is how you get the fuck out of here. That's why neither one of that shit matters. And besides, when you're alive, you're not dead, motherfucker. You could see somebody else dead. When you're dead, you're not alive. So it doesn't even fucking matter. If you're not alive, meaning in your fucking, you know what I'm saying? So again, this is real life living experiences, man. This is not for, this is no, it's not a way to philosophize. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not for the birds, man. You know, motherfuckers are out there, man. You know what I'm saying? This is not to sound good, man. This is life transformation information and understanding too. So then you start making your life in motion, meaning you start living. And this is why this conversation is for the livings, the great listeners, the wise ones. You know? So again, your thoughts, man. You want your thoughts to be in alignment with God's thoughts. That's when you, as the kid, or as the child, or the son, in the Father, and the Father in the Son. Meanwhile, you're still being you, the Son, but yet you still have this, just like, for me, I'm having a cosmic fucking experience, man. Like, I know I'm on Earth. I know I'm over here, but at the same time, though, it's almost like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, with dealing with the fucking ancestors, my guides, and that other world, too. Oh, these motherfuckers are out there. If you know, you know. But anyway, and that's the whole understanding behind it. So again, when we understand this in terms of, how your thoughts is pretty much molding you. So then when you see, let's just say, people in Christianity acting a certain way, that's why they act like they're God. You got to understand, how is their thoughts being molded? What is it truly that is being taught to them? When it comes down to it, there's a big discrepancy between them and Jesus. They are the follower. Even when they talk about Jesus being their Savior, but they don't understand what Savior is. I mean, someone that saves you, I get it. I mean, what the fuck? Like, I mean, yes, I appreciate. I mean, the whole saving aspect, this is referring to, is you not knowing who you were. Now, the Christ allow you to know who you are. So, I appreciate the acknowledgement, but now that you know who you are, what are we doing? Are you gonna be who you are? Do you see what I'm saying? So, but that's not the type of level of thinking that is being, taught in their system. And because of that, their behavior is always going to be the same. What you're seeing is exactly what it is. So they being sold on a fucking dream. They're gonna go to this and that, and that's why you're always gonna see these kinds of things. And it doesn't matter if it's motherfucking Catholic. I mean, it's the same structure. They could argue between them, but it's the same structure. It's tomatoes. Do you see what I'm saying? It's one telling you, you know what, you choose to follow this, and then you fail to include that. Well, I'm including this and I'm following that. Okay, same structure. In other words, same difference. The structure's the same. I mean, the language could be different. I mean, that's why you have your Pancratist and whatever. I mean, Pentecostal. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Like, those different denominations, but the structure is the same. And the similarity is escapism. Like, they're looking to escape. It's to go to church on Sunday, but it's truly no transformation in who they are. It's small talk, like small thinking. It's almost like for them to be valuable, Jesus got to be all the way up and them at the bottom. That's their value. I don't know how that works. But you could see that that's why it doesn't work. And most people who you see in life, in true life, in reality, who has accomplished, who has elevated themselves, they telling you have to love yourself, bro. And you also have other people that tells you they are God, not because they could fucking what I'm saying, like not to offend on anybody, what I'm saying, but just because they have to understand their powers. And your power is that you get to create your own reality, meaning you get to build or destroy your life. And that's what we do consciously or unconsciously. You could argue all you want. And that's why for me, this is the part, that's what I deal, that's spirituality to me. That's what I deal with. And because of that understanding, I understand, when it comes to spirituality, it's your ordinary life. But it's what I'm saying, it's how you choose to jerk, what I'm saying? You choose to use your left hand or the fucking right hand. You're still jerking off. And for that knowledge or even the Bible to be powerful to you, how a lot of you motherfuckers like to say how powerful this shit is, well, you would have to make it part of your life. Even those proverbs that you're reading late at night, you have to become that shit to make it powerful. See, if you're gonna talk about, what I'm saying, like it's Psalm 23, what I'm saying, that talks about, you walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Well, guess what, motherfucker? You're gonna have to show it in life. I know I have. Oh, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, nigga. I fear no evil. Listen, they done sent a lot of evil, man. I fear none of them. Oh, they know. And I'm just going to leave it there. But anyway, you have to become that. You know what I'm saying? They do magic. I'm magic, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Saying the closer you look, I mean, the more you don't see. You know, man? Now that you see me, the true magician, man. You ain't gotta believe me in shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I just, what I'm saying? I speak for what. That's why I'm a fucking Jehovah Witness. I am that. This is just my testimony. You know what I'm saying? Of the life of a young God too, but most importantly, that whole transformation, the elevation, and for me to be here with you sharing this. And that's what makes it a fucking honor for me too, because I don't see anything greater than this. Than you knowing who the fuck you are. I mean, that's the only way you can make a difference in the fucking world. Your degree's not gonna do it. It's you just following the footsteps. But if we're talking about a difference, that's gonna have to come inside of you. It would have to do with your uniqueness. If you're not using you, well, how useful are you? So again, I mean, it's all connected. But again, your thoughts and to delve into that, you know what I'm saying? That's why I always recommend the Kabbalion for a lot of you guys. The Kabbalion talks about the seven hermetic principles. But what that is truly telling you about when they talk about the laws of the universe is that it's technically telling you it's a cheat code. It's telling you how this shit works. How it works. For instance, you could want something, but you gotta learn how to get it in this world. And that's where the laws comes in. The laws are the codes. For instance, you want love. If you think you're gonna choose go out there and just find it like that, it's not gonna work out that way, buddy. You gotta love yourself first. That's why when you become the king of your castle, meaning you have mastered your world, yourself. Because, and here's something else too, I just want to clarify that because I was laughing. Because a lot of us, we refer, they like to say us Africans, we used to refer to us as kings and queens. Well, that was because, we knew your vessel is your castle, is your kingdom. So by us acknowledging you or calling you kings or queens, it's not something to boost your fucking ego, nigga. It's a fucking. In other words, that's like you saying namaste to a motherfucker. Because by me calling you king, it's acknowledging that you assuming that you are in control of your fucking kingdom. So as a king myself, we salute other kings. But what this is truly talking about, it's not, not everybody was kings and queens. Like, you have a bunch of fucking peasants. But what this is truly talking about is your level of, self-consciousness. It's almost, that's why it's the same idea of namaste, because what the monks are telling you is that I acknowledge the God in you. So even though you may not acknowledge it in yourself, I acknowledge it in you. That's why those of us who are knowledgeable, that's why we are always humble. Because we understand, listen, how smart can I be if I'm dealing with a stupid motherfucker? It doesn't make me smart. I mean, shit, of course, me being smart, I would know that. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why beating on a dummy, it's not making me smart myself. That's why for me personally too, I'm not even part of nobody's demise, man. I just say, man, I mean, you gotta, listen, I always tell people, there's no way outside of it. Every man, you gotta stand up in front of your deed, man. Oh, you gotta rip what you sow. That's everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you gotta be careful, man. Careful what you're planting out there, farmer. Careful what you're doing, man. But again, that is all coming back to your frame of thinking, your state of mind. Do you see what I'm saying? And by now, we should understand there are levels in living. We're not talking about a living corpse. That's why when in spirituality, we call people who are not aware of who they are a living corpse. Meaning they are breathing, you eat and shit, you party, you drink, you do all kind of shit. But that other side of you fucking like, you don't know you. And you'll see too, the people that are just eating bullshit and all that shit too, is a direct result of their level of understanding. And here's the thing. The Mayan, the fucking Indians, they call this world Maya. Maya means illusion. The closer you look, the more you don't get it. What does that mean? What does that? What the fuck? What this is referring to? That's what makes this a fucking illusion. An illusion is it's not what it appears to be. You see a magician doing his trick, yeah, you see it, but it's not what it looks like. Until when he reveals the trick to you, you're like, oh, motherfucker. But that's what this life is. Everything about it is not what it looks like. Even I myself talking to you or you talking to somebody else. That's why for you to know who your friends are, we always tell you, know who the fuck your friends are. What the fuck does that mean? It means it's not just such and so first and last name. You got to know their character. So you also implying to every person there's more than what the fuck they look like. Again, this is the whole idea of you not judging a book by its fucking cover. You can never do it. Only a stupid motherfucker will. Because the cover never shows you what's inside of it, regardless of how ugly or how beautiful it is. You see, the fucking illusion. And this is where the actual discernment and understanding plays a part. And that's the understanding you need to awaken in you. That's the self-consciousness. That's what you should be doing when you go fucking do your meditation. You meditate to enhance that. So now you could have a better vision of this reality. Another way of saying this is so that you could see beyond the bullshit. Because again, remember, it's not what it appears to be. And that's going to be all of that. And this is what life is. You're dealing with your neighbors, your friend. It's always, you got to deal with their shadow self. So you're dealing with other fucking living spirit around you, nigga. But they appear in fucking physical body. Welcome to Earth. And that's for every fucking body. That's why nobody can save you. Only you could do it. Now, the whole Jesus saving you, what that is telling you, motherfucker, you have to say yes. Meaning, that's what we all got to do. It's wake up to the knowledge. Even what I'm saying to you now, right? If you don't have the capacity to understand it, you will not get it. Or if you think you have a better capacity too, you may choose to dismiss. But regardless of what I'm saying here, though, the bottom line of the point that I'm trying to make is that when we're talking about enlightenment, a level of understanding or attaining a level of understanding that you didn't have before. And that's what the Christ is, right? You have to wake up to it. When we're talking about if you know what an aha moment is, this is you waking up like, now I got it. That type of fucking shit, that's enlightenment. That's an aha moment. That's the light bulb, whatever the fuck you want to call that. That's how you are awakening yourself more, right? So now it could have been something that took place in front of you that you didn't see, and then you had that inner vision that kicks in. See, that's why you gotta understand you are magical, nigga. When you know you. And I had a group of fools, man, like really fool motherfuckers who didn't know who they were even fucking with. John Wick, nigga. Everybody's telling them, that's what you did to John Wick? This is John Wick. Do you know who the fuck this nigga? No, the stupid motherfucker always like, nah, I can fuck him up. I'm gonna fuck him up. Okay? And all the other killers are telling you, this is John Wick, nigga. Oh, you about to find out. You gonna find out. But anyway, man, we're gonna close it up here, man. Anyway, always remember, guys, like these I strongly recommend. I mean, if there's any shortcut when it comes to enlightenment or having those aha moments, you know what I'm saying, to develop your inner vision that allows you now, as you go in, then you could see perfectly outside. So you don't want to come closer for you to see, to fucking get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's not what you see, but it's how you see it. So when the magician is performing his trick, it's gonna teach you is that's what they're doing. They know how to do it. It's the how that's the spice. That's that little extra that makes you extraordinary, baby. Call it chi, call it energy, call it whatever the fuck. But that's the the thing you have to embody. And that brings you excitement too. It brings you alive. Like, what I'm saying? You have to awaken yourself. The sleeping giant. Again, this is your personal life. Make this part of your life. Understand, how your thoughts are a result of your mind. Not to be judgmental about it, but to truly have a better understanding on how powerful you are. Not just for you to change your mind. Yes, you can do it too. But now at this point, when you get to realize that about you, that you are the creator, you would now, why not creating the best version of you? If you're going to play, well, let's play. Why not making everything count? Why not living your life? Fuck being born or death. Like, this is what counts. Because this is what you have control over. Well, to a certain extent. You having control over yourself, that's what gives you control over your fucking environment. See, that's why the whole idea of devaluing yourself, it's not even realistic. Like, a lot of us, obviously, once you're not in relationship with yourself, you live in a fictional life. The minute you're living your life based on who you should be, that's fiction, nigga. You're not even organic. And that's the society, that's the paradigm of what you call the matrix. That's the reality, that's the belly of the beast. That's what you're living in. That's where you have all your government and all that shit. And then if you find yourself within that bullshit, fighting against it, you have not awakened yet. Because the whole aspect is, that's why I am in the world, but not of it. I mean, listen, like I always tell people, everybody's doing God's work. And the reason why I say that is whenever you bringing something new to somebody, regardless of how small it is appreciated. Like, that's what makes it a gem. At least for me, like, I mean, I always have to acknowledge everybody's work, even if it's not the best. And it doesn't have to be anyway. And if we're talking about the best, you need all kinds of fucking ideas out there anyway. Because true elevation is going to have to be done through discernment. That's why for me, I don't really judge the media. I don't talk about Instagram and Facebook as, what I'm saying, like I listen to other motherfuckers talking like this shit are distracting you. Not really, motherfucker. Well, if they're not distracting you who's talking about it, what the fuck makes you more powerful than fucking somebody else? Do you see what I'm saying? Like for me, I think everybody should just talk their shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that would allow you to have the power of discernment. Because your true elevation, man, like if you stand for something, well, you're gonna have to show it, nigga. So let this motherfuckers ever who, even if you qualify or not, talk your shit. But at the end of the day, the standard will be out there too, though. Do you see what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not even on the competitive level shit. It would be just based on what it is. You see what I'm saying? You could have stone, you could have gold. I mean, it is what it is. So that has always to be around and to be appreciated too. So that's why for me, I always say everybody's doing God's work, regardless on how small or how stupid you think that they may be. You see what I'm saying? And if they have, you know what I'm saying? I mean, although it may not be, the wisdom that would allow people to free themselves, but, anyway, I guess that's why I'm here. Let motherfuckers talk their shit, man. You know what I'm saying? But again, it doesn't. When you know the truth, it doesn't phase you. In fact, I learned how to build on this bullshit. When I listen to a lot of podcasts and I listen to these fuckers talking about the bullshit they talking about, I mean, it gives me more idea, not just to counter what they say, but even to have a better understanding in my own shit. You see what I'm saying? So, have at it, motherfuckers. Shit. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I guess I'm saying all of that to say the whole idea, too, of one God, right? I mean, one, type of people under one, you know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. And here's something else, too. And I'm not going to say this is for educational purposes, but just so you understand, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because your colonizers went far to make sure that you have adopted their God. Because the best way to control you is, hey, listen, man, I'll give you a God that I design, meaning to my liking, and that's gonna give me the result of what I'm looking for, and that's what I give you. And that's how your behavior is being shaped, being conditioned. I mean, can you imagine a guy's telling you like this is the word of God? Like, what makes it any other book not the word of God? And if it is the word of God, like, was it ever imprinted? Like, did anybody have to write it down? And if anybody did, how did God talk to him? Do you see what I'm saying? To a point where now the motherfucker is saying this book is the greatest book of like this shit. It's like it's very insane, man. Like if you don't get it, I mean, if you're very emotional about it, then you probably wouldn't get it. But if you're not too emotional about it, you well balanced, then you understand. Yo, I mean, it is a valuable book, just like you know what I'm saying, the fucking Gita is, just like any other value. I mean, any book that talks about human creation and having some understanding about ourselves, because that's truly what these different mythologies are pretty much about. It's different version of ourselves and different story of us. But anyway, that would be for a whole different conversation. Because if this is your first time hearing me and not breaking it down to you and hearing that statement, it's a little bit bold for you right now. So I would just tell you to eat it for a second. You know what I'm saying? Just eat it for a second. But and check out my other channel too, man. Lespri. I have all that shit in there where I talk about all of that. But anyway, we're gonna leave it here. You know what I'm saying? Always remember, for you to be you, nobody else could be around. And why worry about death? Because when you're alive, death is not around. You could see it somewhere else, but it's not in your life. And when you're dead, you have no life. Aí sim, Mali.